Good Friday evening, everyone. It is a Friday edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. Hope you've had a good day. We had a nice day across the region today. We had sunshine. We had cool temperatures, yes, but certainly more typical of November out there today with temperatures in the mid-40s. One thing I wanted to show you today, kind of remarkable how dry the air mass was today. The temperatures in the 40s, but look at these dew points. These are like desert dew points with single digits, even a dew point of 2 above 0 at 1 p.m. Now, we see these kinds of dew points in the dead of winter when it's usually in the 20s or teens as far as temperatures, but to have temperatures in the 40s and dew points this low is not unheard of, but it is a little bit unusual and kind of interesting. So, static electricity alert, that is for sure, with this air mass. Now, the air mass is going to start to moisten as we go into the weekend. Temperatures here at about 10 till 7 this evening. Looking like this, we drop down into the 30s across most of eastern Ohio and into western PA this evening. Definitely some cold air out to the west behind our storm system that's approaching. We've got teens and 20s out across the Rockies and the upper Midwest, and the warmth is pretty much restricted to parts of the deep south this evening. All right, the snow is getting underway in Chicago. It's been snowing most of the day in Iowa, heading into southern Wisconsin, parts of southern Minnesota as well. It's rain on the southern fringes of this where temperatures are warm enough. And all of this is tracking east, yes, but the storm system itself is actually going to start taking more of a northeastward track. That's going to drag in enough warm air that we're going to see rain from this and not snow at first. So here's Futurecast tonight. It's a quiet night. Clouds increase later on. We'll see some milky sunshine tomorrow, kind of one of those filtered sun kind of days where the clouds will be high enough and thin enough that you may be able to see the sun, but it's not going to be as bright and sunny as today. Then the clouds really thicken towards evening. I think it starts to rain around dinner time tomorrow, maybe 6, 7 o'clock, and then it'll rain for a couple of hours. A fairly quick change over to some snow seems likely, though, as we go into the mid to late evening tomorrow. And then this becomes a lake effect event on Sunday as the cold air wraps in and goes over those warm Great Lakes. Fingers of lake effect snow will get going across much of northeast Ohio, northwest PA, and into southwest New York as well. That'll be the case most of Sunday. Then we'll get a little break Sunday night, and on Monday, another weak little system is going to try to dive in, and this could lead to some flurries or snow showers Monday afternoon. A little more mood snow, if you will, as we kick off the work week. Now, the non-lake effect part of this is definitely a pretty beefy snowstorm. Probably 6, 7, 8 inches in parts of southern Wisconsin. Chicago, kind of on the border between 3 to 6 or 6 to 10, probably something like that. Detroit gets at least a few inches out of this. But you'll notice with the northeastward track, the snow, the accumulating snow, at least more than a small amount, kind of cuts off as you get into northwest Ohio because warm air is going to get dragged in, and there will be some rain. Now, as far as the lake effect side of this, here's a look at our computer models, the European, the Canadian, the American GFS, the American NAM model, and our in-house RPM model. Snow accumulations at the airport in Vienna with this, all of them painting less than 1 inch, the 1 inch line right here. That's at the airport in south central or southeastern Trumbull County. But of course, this is a lake effect event, so as you go off to the north, there will be more snow. So here's our snow forecast for the viewing area. We're talking about trace to 1 inch from about I-80 on north. And once you're up into far northern Trumbull and northern Mercer, I think there can be some places that get 2 or 3, maybe even 4 inches out of this. But that's the far north. If you're south of I-80, you're going to see snowflakes. But other than maybe a little candy coating on some grassy surfaces, car tops, that kind of thing, really not expecting much at all for a lot of Mahoning and Columbiana counties as far as accumulation goes. All right, as we go towards Thanksgiving, this is the upper level pattern along with the surface temperatures here. We're going to see some interesting things happening here with the pattern. This is the pattern this evening. You've got a trough of low pressure strengthening across the upper Midwest. And as we go into the weekend, that will continue sharpening and moving overhead. So by Sunday morning, the trough axis is right overhead, and that means a pretty good discharge of cold air. We're not going to be much above freezing on Sunday, coldest day since the end of March. So this is just kind of a passing thing, though, because watch how the pattern amplifies as we head towards Thanksgiving, and it's going to be a reversal. The trough in the east is going to become a trough in the west. Big trough, in fact. Going to be a cold, stormy Thanksgiving for the northern plains and northern Rockies. Heavy snows and gusty winds and cold temperatures. But across the east, you've got a high-pressure zone centered right in through here off the the coast of Florida and the Bahamas, and you've got a nice southwesterly flow aloft through here, and it's going to warm up. I think we'll be in the 50s for Thanksgiving. Maybe even flirting with 60 on Black Friday, on the day after Thanksgiving. So some interesting things going on as we head into the upcoming weekend. And then I think as the weekend ends, we're talking about 8, 9, 10 days from now, we're going to start to see that western trough push east, and we will see a cool down at some point in Thanksgiving weekend and early in the following week. So the warm-up won't last forever, of course. It's almost the end of November after all. But we should enjoy a pretty balmy Thanksgiving Day coming up on Thursday. That's the Friday night's edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. Hope you have a great weekend, everyone. Be sure and check out Andrew DePaulo's forecast tomorrow morning and Candace Monticelli's forecasts on 21 News at 6 and 11, both Saturday and Sunday this weekend. And as usual on the weekends, I'll chime in from time to time, especially Saturday night and Sunday morning, as some snowflakes return to the valley.